So this video we're gonna check out my board game collection, that's right here, and do one tricky thing.
So you know how you have many games, and you have many games, and I have many games, but we don't get to play them as much as we'd like to?
I think we can solve that with simple game that we're gonna do while I'll show you all of the games, the good, the bad, the horrible, and the awesome.
You have good games here as well?
I borrowed some from you.
Okay, that makes sense.
While doing this, I'm gonna take out games from my shelves and place them down in two piles with games that I really want to play this year.
I will pick one of those piles, and you'll have to play each of those games 5 times. If you don't, you gotta get rid of those games.
2 piles of games with the weight 20 from Board Game Geek. Weight as in the difficulty level. And you're gonna pick which pile I have to play 5 times, or else I'm getting rid of that pile. Anyways, but now to the important part, my board game collection. This is my board game shelf. That's the other part of it, the background that you'll see all the time.
I've always wanted to ask, was this a full shelf at some point and exploded and that's what left?
Let's check out this shelf first.
Yeah, why some are horizontal and some are vertical?
These are the kids' games that actually you gave to me. I haven't played any of them. That way forwards is just games that we need to test. Maybe we have already played, but we just need to play a few more times to see if it goes out, if it goes to a review pile. Could you move?
I'll just scooch out.
City of the Great Machine, Near and Far, and Books of Time.
From all of these 4, I've only played Books of Time. I really enjoyed it, and people I played with really didn't enjoy it.
Who did you play with?
With my wife.
And that explains it.
But it's a unique game where you're placing cards in like literally a book and then turning pages, and depending when you turn the page and how it interacts, it's pretty good. I really liked it. I thought it's very unique. But I guess I was the factor why people didn't like it, because I mean, yeah, never mind. But now, I mean, like now.
Now it's my collection.
Now.
This is how I sorted my collection. Okay. These are the like light games, light party games, and it gets heavier. If you want a light party game, basically choose any of these, almost. One of my favorites.
Thank you. I know. This is one of his favorites.
Yeah. Legally have to say this at this point.
No, he doesn't.
He's the author of...
One of the authors.
Penguin flicking game, dexterity game. Really good. These are the ones that any party, anytime, let's just go. Just one. If you don't have this, get it in your language. One of you is the guesser, everybody else knows the word. It's a cooperative game, and then everybody gives you hints. But if you give the same hint, we have to erase it. Yeah. That's the whole game. Super funny.
That's the party game we've talked the most on this channel.
Then I have the secret box where all the small board games go. We can open it, right? It's getting more and more awkward.
Why wasn't it so awkward when we were filming my collection?
You didn't have a smooth carpet there? True. So we couldn't hit.
And also you have 2 arms, you were holding the camera.
It's Wasabi, something if you don't want to think at all, just throw some dice and have fun with it. Wasabi, let's go. Simlo is my go-to small filler game now. It's so simple to play. It's Mysterium Light. Yeah. Bomb Defusal Manual, just in case, if ever we need such thing. Skull is really great, good party game. The game components themselves are like coasters for your beer.
Or coffee.
Or coffee. And don't drink it. Fun party game with bluffing.
My youngest son's favorite game is Exploding Kittens. Oh, yeah? Well, we have the Exploding Minions version. Okay. But he likes to play that again, and again, and again.
So the first game I'm putting in one of the piles is just one.
Yeah, you know you're not gonna get away with just one.
On the other side, I'm gonna put in Simulo.
So Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter?
Obviously, it's not even a question.
Can you say it in a sentence? Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings is a million times better than Harry Potter.
Now we'll know how many hardcore Harry Potter fans we had.
My favorite from all of these is Dungeon Fighters. Works just every single time. Take a die and throw it at the table and then land in this huge target, which doesn't feel huge when you have to throw. And defeat monsters. You just challenge yourself, how far can you go, basically. So Dungeon Fighter is something that I can easily get 5 times in, and I wanna. Seven Wonders Architects is an amazing quick game that you can play whenever somebody comes and says, hey, I have 30 minutes.
One evening and you're done with this game. 5 games in a row. Pfft. In which pile are you gonna put it? Oh, that pile.
Manara is something that I think not a lot of people will know, right?
I think it has gone under the radar, sadly.
Also a cooperative like dexterity game where you have to make this tower. It's like Jenga. You as a team have to build these structures. You pull out a task card and it says you have to build this. Yeah. So you take those pieces and build them. You might run out of them. It's tricky to get them out. If you can pick it up, you're gonna love it.
I played Life on Zenny with my son and I loved it. Wingspan killer. Did I say that? Because I meant it. Yeah, and Welcome to the Moon is really good.
You have these sets of cards with numbers and special powers. You pick one and draw it in your sheet. These abilities change every time.
Yeah, it's like...
Story there. It's a lot of things. An easy pick for me. I'm gonna tell you about this shelf. It's the family, maybe family plus shelf at the end. Castle Panic is a really quick game. Castle Defense, where monsters are coming from all the sides. You roll the dice to see which monsters come, and you try to defeat them while playing different cards. Here comes the crowd's favorite. Woo!
Horrified.
I think 5 plays out of this one easily.
Literally the only person in the world who talks how awesome this game is right here, Janis.
So it's a
yeah, we don't care.
Crafting game?
Yep, don't care, literally. Anyway, any other good games you have in here?
Try to build the coolest carnival, and to build the coolest carnival you need the best monsters there. But these monsters are dangerous, so you have to build cages for them, where you have to take risks to build the best carnival. Now this is my go-to game to play with my wife in the evenings, because it's easy to get to the table, yet there's a lot of juicy decisions. Love it. So that's going to one of the piles. Is it 20 already? Please tell me it's 20.
No, I think it's 5 at this point.
Quaxo Quedlinburg is basically a risk-taking game. You buy tokens and put them in the bag and then pull out and see, did you get lucky or not? And you try to not explode, because if you pull out too many of the bad tokens, you explode. That's the game. Really lovely, super fun. Don't take it too seriously, or else you'll be one of the persons in the comments. Quaxo Quedlinburg, it's such a bad game.
You sound exactly like those people in the comments. Are you fake commenting?
Harry Potter, my guilty pleasure. It's not a fair game, it's a random game, but super lovely deck building, simple to get into.
Even though Lord of the Rings is a million times better than Harry Potter, I heard someone say recently.
I'm gonna just pick games I really want to play and put there and not think about the consequences for now.
I mean, worst you have to do is get rid of those games.
Planet X is an amazing game where you have to find Planet X. You have an app that gives you hints.
It's that far from asteroids, or it's next to this, and then slowly you figure out where it is. And you can publish your paper to score more points before anybody else.
But that gives information to other people. Yeah. So you get extra points, yet give extra information to others. Yeah. Balancing act all the time.
How many times have you played it this year? Not a lot, huh? It wasn't 5.
2, I think. So this is gonna be a challenge. Another secret box. And in there is all of my Lord of the Rings collection. I love Lord of the Rings and I love the game as well.
So we've heard.
Well, the good part is if you create the decks, you for sure will play it 5 times.
All you have to do is just build some decks.
Starting from today, I have 364 days.
I'll see you next December.
So I need to lock my doors and never see you again. This goes into the pile as well. So it's 1 versus many game with like secret movement. Team that tries to get out, they can talk, but they want to murmur or do it quietly.
The bad guy hears everything and it's very thematic. It's very accessible and it takes less than an hour to play. Each January we have a list of our top 10 games of all time, but if you are our supporter, you get to see also our games from 11 to 20, because we do an extra video every month for you, our dear supporters.
Info, review copy that we got.
And I really love it, and Janis doesn't really love it.
I've played it just 2 times, so we need to play it more, but it's fine. This is my solo shelf. There's multiplayer as well, but like solitary games. This is my now one of favorite. Basically what this does is you have 20 dice, that's why 20 is strong, and you have to beat bad guys. And you can roll however many dice you want to. But after you roll those dice, they will be exhausted. So how you will manage those dice to defeat all the monsters is on you, just solo game.
And it's 2.48, so it's on the heaviest side.
Love it even more.
It's like...
Hadrian's Wall is a great game where you have 2 sheets of paper, a lot of resources, and you use these resources to fill in the sheet, which essentially is the engine that creates more resources for you. One of my favorite games of all time. Will it be this year? We'll see in January, but it will be in my games to play pile. I would actually be ready to almost play all of these at least 5 times. So this is the heavy shelf. I think Sight is not that heavy, but it's still on this shelf now.
It's definitely a gamer's game.
And there is more conflict on that side. So this is the heavy one.
And that's a must-have game.
I haven't played it this year. That's why I think it's gonna go to one of those.
Really? 5 times? Okay.
I'm doing this challenge just because I want to play those games that I don't have time for. You're the owner of a zoo and you want to do 2 things. 1, sell tickets, obviously. Another preserve Earth. So you're building this system how to do that.
The most unique thing I think is the action selection system where you take out the card and they all slide over. Then the longer you leave it not slidden over, is that a sentence? Well, now it is. It gets more powerful. This is one of those games I've heard that have a theme a million times better than Harry Potter theme.
Yes, it's okay. What's Ragnarok? I think best produced game ever, like in production value. The miniatures are perfect, everything is perfect, great. Didn't enjoy the game that much. Ankh, it's a simple area control game. The interesting part is at the middle of the game, the two people who are doing the worst merge together and become one player with stronger ability so they can catch up.
It's an area control game where there are certain areas at the beginning of the game, but during the game there will be some events that will split areas into more areas. And it's always like changing. It's not very simple, but I'd say it's like a family plus game actually.
I think I need to put it on that pile, the right one.
I do want to play Ankh 5 times over the next year. Maybe I should pick that one.
This is the top, the biggies.
You started a campaign of this already?
Oathsworn, one of the best campaign games ever created. There are two parts. One part is the story part, which is very immersive, very dark as well. And then when you finish the story part, right then there's the fight part. You have unique characters, unique decks, unique action system, which is really, really lovely. I will for sure finish the campaign the second time next year. So I'm adding this to the pile and I think I'm done. Assassin's Creed, really fun campaign game, cooperative game, where you have levels as puzzles where bad guys move and you have to figure out, okay, they will move this direction, so I have to go in that way. And if you like the video games, I think you'll love it. And then we have Aeon's Trespass, which I could just take now and finish one of those piles, both of those piles, I think. One of my favorite games. It's a huge hobby within a hobby game where you can do a million things. You can play as huge titans.
4.73. Super heavy game.
I won't cheat and put that in because it would be too easy. So we finished up on that shelf. Now we're moving to that side. Now to the Holy Grail games. Games you actually see all the time in the background. We exchange them from time to time. We have this game. I think we're gonna talk a lot about it in the video that's coming up, which is the best games of all time. So I'm not gonna tell you a lot about it.
Just watch our review if you can't wait. But it's a great asymmetrical heavy Euro game.
Lands of Golzir, something we just played with my wife. We thought it's not a game. Moving on. You really like it, right?
I did enjoy it quite a bit with my kids.
I'm not saying it's bad, it's actually good story writing, good stuff all around, but there's no game there. Here's Bitoku, one of my favorite two-player games. The spirit of the forest is dying, and you might be the spirit to replace it, but you have to prove yourself.
By getting most victory points, obviously, how it weapons.
Virtue points. In this game, it's virtue points. It's a dice placement, where you use dice as workers, but there's like multiple things here, cards and tokens. Feed the Kraken, our favorite, like secret.
Hidden roll game, yeah.
I'm gonna play it 5 times.
Now I'm gonna pick that pile, because I want to play it 5 times.
Feed the Kraken is not there anymore.
Because Janis got rid of it because he didn't play it 5 times.
Nah, not gonna happen. Terraforming Mars, one of my favorite Euro games of all time. Unfortunately, I didn't play too many times this year because there were many other games.
You didn't play many times? Or did you play one many times?
A lot of people, I think, will see one pile of those games and think, 5 times? That's nothing, I can easily play those. But we have to review and test out new games all the freaking time. I'm saying it as a bad thing, but it is not that easy to get time. We have kids, we have jobs, everything, so getting 5 times of the games that we really like is a challenge, and that's why I wanna challenge myself. And you also can help me with that challenge. You can support us becoming our Patreon or YouTube member, because we wanna go full-time, half-time.
That's the dream.
Which would mean we can play more games, test more games, talk about games, create more content about games. That would be really cool, I think, for you to see. And you can kind of help us make our dream come true. Check out our Patreon.
Or become a YouTube member.
And I'm adding this to my 5 times. Spirit Island, one of my favorite solo games of all time. I for sure will play it next year as well, as I did this year, so I'm not adding to the pile because it's not a challenge to get it to the table.
But you are adding Eldritch Horror, right? Who talks about Eldritch Horror these days? I think you're the only one anymore who does that.
Actually, game that got me into this hobby. So it's a cooperative game where you are investigators and fighting the bad guy. Collecting stuff, trying to get strong enough to defeat the main bad guy, and main bad guy influences like the events that happen, the creatures that come, and the end goals.
Plus, if that's not enough, there are like a gajillion expansions.
I have all of them. I see all these games and I'm like, if you don't know about them yet? I don't know what you're doing.
No, people who watch our channel definitely know about them.
Dune Imperium is something you have to have in your collection. You have, whatever games you play, you have to have it. You're just fighting for victory points by fighting, by playing cards and getting resources and making alliances or creating intrigues which all give you victory points.
Man, it's a great game. It's a great game. And you know what? We're getting the sequel today.
Yeah. You can see that Janis is much more excited about things in life in general. I'm a bit dead inside, so...
Well, look at those games.
So we have a cat here, Nemesis cat. This is a Star Wars deck building game.
Which, as I am a huge Star Wars fan, like less than you do. Which is what? Yeah.
I'm adding this to the one pile, so I finish. It's over 20 and that's it. Lovely, lovely Euro game, which is super quick if you don't have time for Ark Nova
or Terraforming Mars.
It's heavy, meaning that you will have a bunch of cards in your hand and you will have to just play a few of them. You could have like 30 cards in your hand with text and you have to choose quickly or else everybody will be, hey, Jans, you take it too long.
Come on, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Exactly, so a great game, Earth, really love it. We have Krask. Fun little game. Here is Nemesis Lockdown, the second iteration of Nemesis. Here is the third one. We already did the review for that, but it seems like we're going to a board game camp and again playing Retaliation.
Well, Nemesis is one of my favorite games of all time, and each of those, somebody can be your friend, somebody could be a traitor, you don't know. Somebody has their own agendas, so it's a really nice but heavy and unforgiving game at points.
Sleeping Gods. This week, I think, I should have Distant Skies, the next version. One of the story games out there.
My kids scared me with some of the decisions they made. Let's just say some villages are not there where they used to be.
Yeah, so basically you are crew of ship that goes around and you can pick different places where you can go. It's an open world, you can go wherever you want if you want to. And you have to do events that happen there. And you might burn something, you might help somebody.
It was like that when we got there.
And the last two, here's The Witcher, which is a lovely game of competition.
Yeah, it's like a race game where you're trying to slay monsters before the other player does. It's a great 2 or 3 player game, is what I would say.
And this beauty, amazing game, role-playing game where you are friends of Alice or relatives of Alice and she's missing and you have to not talk but text each other.
It's a silent RPG where we don't actually talk, and it has an amazing, mind-blowing soundtrack.
While we were filming this video, something special came in.
Move on, old man. There's a new kid in town. Boom.
And we're gonna for sure play it 5 times at least because we need to do a review. We're gonna test the hell out of it.
Oh yeah.
Distant Skies is coming, Wonderland's War is coming. Finally, my Kickstarter. It's taking so long. My shelves are looking pretty empty now. This one looks
pretty small.
Small, right? But Terraforming Mars, Lord of the Rings, Ankh. I did a good job of balance.
Yeah, there. I don't have an obvious choice.
If I have to guess, then I will say you're gonna pick this pile.
That's the pile I'm picking. That's the pile I'm picking because there's a lot of games in there.
Now I have to play all of these games 5 times, or else I have to get rid of all this pile.
The whole pile, yeah.
So I think finally I will have motivation to play all the games that I love and I have.
I can imagine you like mid-June going like, screw this, I don't even need these games, not gonna play them, I'm out.
I'll keep you updated on what's happening. Thank you for watching. Let me know what is missing from my collection and I'll tell you why that's a bad choice. And please support us and give us a bit more time, please, to play games and create content.
And thanks to everyone who already supported us. Thank you for watching, and which pile would you pick? Still, I wanna know.